The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin, written by William Peter Blatty, is one of the scariest, most disturbing movies ever put to film. Does The Exorcist Believer uphold the tradition? Let's talk about it. The Exorcist Believer is directed by David Gordon Green, whose name might be familiar as he just wrapped up the Halloween film series again. It stars Leslie Odom Jr. as Victor, a single father raising his teenage daughter as his wife was killed in an earthquake in Haiti while the two were vacationing 13 years earlier. When his daughter, Angela, and her friend Catherine go exploring in the woods to speak to Angela's dead mother, they both disappear for 3 days and come back different. And by different, I mean very, very possessed. Victor joins forces with Catherine's parents, played by Jennifer Nettles and Norbert Leo Butz, and a small circle of friends, including a sympathetic nurse, played by Ann Dowd, who points Victor in the direction of OG character Chris McNeil, played once again by Ellen Burstyn, and a ragtag spiritual support group comprised of Victor's neighbor Stuart and his spiritual friends, and eventually a reluctant priest. Together they try to rid the girls of their spiritual passengers. Exorcist Believer is the latest in a number of sequels from what unexpectedly became a franchise that started in the early 1970s. I must admit, going into this film based on the trailer, I had a pretty good idea of how I would feel about it when I finished viewing it. I was not wrong. But there was something I did not expect. Exorcist Believer is yet another possession movie in a long line of possession movies, and a short string of recent possession movies. But this one tries to do something different. It actually tries to have an uplifting message of a kind. And without getting too deep into spoilers, the theology of the story is somewhat New Age. But let's just say the film goes out of its way to introduce new, broader perspectives in terms of the whole exorcism game, and subverting expectations. Exorcism isn't just for Catholics anymore, which you can definitely argue is true. To be fair, if you're going to put something on the screen that people have seen before, you want to try to do it in a different way that's new and interesting. I don't know if they actually succeed for most viewers. I don't know if it works for me. But I appreciate the effort, and I appreciate that they went for something different. While perhaps of little consequence overall, it was a good choice to cast Leslie Odom Jr. He pretty much carries the film. I appreciate the measured and deliberate performance. He, more than anything, grounds the movie and gives the audience a way in. He's a solid protagonist. The rest of the cast serve in a mostly support capacity, including the other girl's parents. Fans of the original Exorcist will probably not appreciate Ellen Burstyn's return after seeing the film, which was spoiled by the trailer. At the risk of spoiling that, I'm kind of glad that she didn't turn out to be the story's savior as it appeared to be in the trailer. But I am kind of surprised of the character's treatment in the story. The girls, Angela, played by Lydia Jewett, and Catherine, played by Olivia O'Neill, were everything that you would want and expect from possessed little girls. They're downright creepy. Strangely, Exorcist Believer has an R rating for what could have been easily a PG-13, but I can appreciate that it might be harder to market an Exorcist film as a PG-13, so easy enough to drop a couple of extra F-bombs into it. But what about the film as a whole? Is it worth your time and money? Well, if you're looking for your typical traditional possession story, perhaps not. It's really not that scary at all. But if you're looking for a legacy possession story with a slightly different angle, and dare I say an almost uplifting ending, then this might be the possession film for you. Personally, I think it might be better to view it at home with a big bowl of ice cream or a glass of scotch with friends to discuss it. Or heckle during, as it happens when my friends and I get together. But don't expect to be blown away. What's your opinion? Have you seen The Exorcist Believer? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to get outside and touch the grass. Peace.